Hello people, you're welcome once again to Breed Abundance. In the last video we talked about net worth, and it was said that net worth is your total asset less your total debt. In other words, net worth is the total of what you own minus the total of what you owe. And today we'll be looking at a practical session. That's what we're having today. Practical calculation of net worth. The objective of today's video is for you to be able to sit down and do your net worth calculation at the end of this video. So we'll be taking Sammy and Danny as our case study today. Okay, so before we look at Sammy's net worth, I'd like to say something. When you're calculating the value of your assets, it's good you use the market value. What is market value? Market value is the amount the market or people are willing to pay for that asset. That will give you a realistic value. So now let's look at Sammy's total assets. Sammy has a house and the house is worth 15 million. How did he get the value of his house? We can use a valuation company to value the house, but in the case of Sammy, he has one of his neighbors just sold his own house, and the house are similar houses, so that gave him an idea of how much his house is worth. So he has a house, 15 million. He also has a car which is worth 600,000. Some people will be wondering, why are you adding car to the list of his assets? Even though car is a depreciating asset, it's still worth something in the market. So whatever is worth something that you can sell in exchange for money, you can list it as part of your asset. So he has a car worth 600,000. He also has a land that he just bought in a developing area for 500,000. Sammy also has shares in few companies here and there, which is worth 150,000. He also has cash. That's the amount he has with him and what he has in his bank. The total is 50,000. He has education fund for his children. Sammy actually has 2 children, and in preparation for their university education, he has an education fund set aside for them. As at today, the education fund is worth 150,000. He also has a pension account, and he got the worth of his pension based on the statement sent to him from the pension fund administrator, and his pension is currently worth 1.8 million. Also, he has some gold, and the gold he has is worth 60,000. He has some other investments in an agri company, which is currently worth 120,000 as of today. He also is a member of the cooperative society in his company, and he has 200,000 saved up in his cooperative account. And lastly, someone told him about emergency fund last year. So he started putting something aside in his emergency fund. And as of today, what he has put aside plus the little interest on it is worth 70,000. So in total, Sammy's asset is 18,700,000. Okay, so let's take a look at Sammy's debt. So now we're looking at his total debt. So Sammy has a mortgage, which he actually took for 13.5 million when he wanted to buy his house, but he has been able to pay 1.5 million out of it, so the current value of the mortgage is 12 million. Sammy also has a business loan of 100,000. He also got loan for personal stuff for 150,000, and when he wanted to buy that land, he got a cooperative loan from his cooperative in the office for 350,000. So his total debt is 12.6 million. So if his total asset is 18.7 million less his total debt of 12.6 million, Sammy has a positive net worth of 6.1 million. Now let's take a look at Sammy's friend, whose name is Danny. Danny has very few assets. The only asset Danny has are just 3. He has pension, which is worth 2.8 million. He has a car which is worth 2.5 million, and he has cash, the money he has with him and in the bank, which is worth 200,000. So his total asset is 5.5 million. Let's take a look at his debt. Danny has a car loan of 1 million. He also has a personal loan of 1.5 million. His rent was due and he wasn't really prepared for it, so he had to take a loan from the office to pay his rent, and that's 1.5 million. He also has education loan, because as at the time he had to pay his children's school fees, the amount he had on him wasn't sufficient to pay for his children's school fees, so he took out a loan, education loan of 700,000. And his grandma died recently, and as the first child of the family, he paid 1.2 million as part of the burial funds for his grandma, and that actually affected his debt. That increased his debt. So his total debt is actually 5.9 million. With a total asset of 5.5 million and a total debt of 5.9 million, Danny is at a negative net worth of 400,000. Okay, so based on the case study of Sammy and Danny, we can see that net worth can either be positive or negative. It is positive when the total of what you own is more than what you owe, and your net worth will be negative if the total of what you owe is more than what you own. A healthy net worth should be 1, positive. Secondly, a healthy net worth should align with your financial goal. And lastly, a healthy net worth should be increasing. So by the time you compare your net worth of today with the net worth you calculate in a year's time, it should have increased. That shows your net worth is healthy. Few things to note. Calculating your net worth is not to make you feel good or feel bad, and it's not for comparison with other people. Calculation of your net worth is for you to actually know where you are and for you to be able to plan towards your future. And you need to check often. You can decide to do yours quarterly, some do theirs half yearly, and some annually. Whatever time frame you have chosen to calculate your net worth, try and be consistent. And I'll advise that you use a spreadsheet, probably like an Excel sheet, because that will help you with accuracy, and it will also help you to have a reference point. Because if you just write it in a paper and just keep it somewhere, by the time you're calculating the next one, you might not know where you kept the previous one you calculated. Or like if you have it in an Excel sheet that you can save on your system, or on your phone, or on your tablet. So I advise that you use a spreadsheet. And in the next video, we'll be talking about the journey so far. So whatever your net worth is, positive or negative, it's not for you to feel bad, it's to chart the course forward. So in the next video, we'll look at how did I get here? If I have a positive net worth, what did I do right? And what can I continue to do right? And if I have a negative net worth, how can I improve? How can I work on it? How can I make it better? Thank you.